Duck.
What's going on? It's Fabful Games. Today we're going to be reacting to... Stop it! No, stop it!
Duck.
Stop! I didn't ask you to play it! Okay, fine, we'll just...
Duck.
Hold on. Ah, damn it, it actually worked that time. Okay, we're going to be reacting to Duck on the Diesel Engine Part 1, which has the stories, Duck on the Diesel Engine, I think, or Duck and Diesel or whatever, and then a few, just basically the entire book, and I'm not sure if I included any extra stories or anything, but, yeah. So yeah, let's get into this. 12 subs special? Holy cow. Have I grown since then? What the heck? I've over doubled my subscriber count in 2 years. That's pretty crazy. Okay, well, we're at 58 subscribers, by the way, when I'm recording this. I don't know if I'll have 60 subscribers in the future, or just 60 subscribers by the time I watch this. I don't know. It's the new year, so this is these are the videos I'm recording to look back on the past, and yeah, let's get into this.
Duck was very proud of being Great Western. He talked endlessly about it, but he worked hard too and made sure everything ran like clockwork. It was a splendid day.
And I used a little bit of cardboard thing to pull up. So this is also on the new layout that I mentioned from the last video. So yeah.
Trucks and coaches behaved well. The passengers even stopped
Wasn't able to add
grumbling.
sound effects.
But the engines didn't like having to bustle about. There were two ways of doing things, Duck told them. The Great Western way and the wrong way. I'm Great Western, and don't we know it? They groaned. The engines were glad when a visitor came.
No, wait, was I able to add music in the US dub? I'm not sure.
He purred smoothly towards them.
Anyways.
The Fat Controller stepped out of the cab. Here is Diesel. I've agreed to give him a trial. He needs to learn.
And I used the out of the cab thing from the Railway series, because that's actually what happened in the Railway series. But in the TV series, the Fat Controller was already there.
Good morning, purred Diesel in an oily voice. Pleased to meet you, Duck. Is that James and Henry and Gordon and a green caterpillar too?
Added that in for a little bit of comedy, because it was originally, is that James and Henry and Gordon too? I am delighted to meet such famous engines. And I added in Percy. It's a little bit of comic relief, I guess, in a way. I liked it. I wanted to make my own changes to this formula, and I feel like these changes are good-ish. I don't know. I like these changes.
James and Henry
mostly.
And Gordon and a green caterpillar too. Hey! I am delighted to meet such famous steam engines. Anyways,
emphasis on the word steam, which wasn't in the original. Anyways, to work, I suppose. And
now
extra
listen here,
lines.
Duck. I got him for cheap, and I think I know why. So just be careful with him. I think he's a troublesome one.
And then he's back to where he was. And then, yeah.
The silly engines were flattered. He has very
Let's record on different days and see it's a lot more
good
sunny
manners.
in the background.
He does not.
With Percy still serving as a sort of comic relief thing, which I like, personally. I like how I inserted Percy into this. Makes more sense, because Duck and Percy are meant to be friends.
The silly engines were flattered. He has very good manners. He does not. We are pleased to have him in our yacht. I will bash his buffers till they come out of his... He didn't have a funnel, did he? No, he can't be a proper engine without a funnel.
So they didn't really realize that he's actually a diesel, so then they're like, ooh, that's a little bit skeptical. So Percy, it sort of does key into the plot. I'm happy with that change. I like that.
No,
you can see that's just what I did here.
Without a funnel.
And that's, I think, said and reiterated throughout the series in a few circumstances. You can't be a proper engine if you don't have a funnel. And that's just Duck being pulled along with Diesel in front of it, because the Diesel's actually a knockoff. Like I mentioned in, I think it might have been Hello Twins or something. Well, the episode where it had the scrapyard, I mean. it had these models, and that's a knockoff of Take Along. So that's what I used for Diesel. And I think someone might have asked that in the comments. Very well done. Love that you narrate it yourself. And I might ask what brand of Diesel is that, and it's actually a knockoff of a Take Along. I only know because I saw it in a Leo Kim video, which is a YouTuber. Also, I started to customize it with a black footplate instead of a red one. So I used Sharpie to customize slightly, and you just see into the back of the shed.
You're worthy, fat. Sir Topham hat to you, ordered Duck. Diesel looked unfazed. You're worthy, Sir Topham Hatt thinks I need to learn. Like him.
Your Sir Topham Hatt thinks I need to learn, looks the Percy, shunting the trucks really roughly. Like him, he needs. I thinks I need to learn like him.
Thinks I need to learn. Like him. He is mistaken. We Diesels don't need to learn. We know.
I just had a lot of panning shots.
We come to a yard and improve it.
Like
We are revolution.
I just sort of got bored with that, and I didn't want this shot to just be sitting there, because that felt like a Northwestern 04 video, where it's just like sitting there for a long time, because the voice actors need to make the voices, and they don't know how long that's going to take, so they just add that in, so yeah.
Big words for an engine that's too big for his narrow gauge wheels.
Making fun of how small of wheels he has. Yeah, I like a lot of these changes that I made. It makes it feel a lot better.
We Diesels don't need to learn. We know everything. We come to a yard and improve it. We are revolutionary. Big words for an engine that's too big for his narrow gauge wheels. Hey! Well, if you're Revo Thingogummy, perhaps you should collect my trucks while I fetch Gordon's coaches. Diesel, delighted to show off, purred away. While Doc went to fetch the coaches.
I really liked that. I'm happy with that, personally. And then it fades out. So yeah, that's good. And then let's watch two parts. They're both fairly short. Duck and the Diesel Engine. Actually, I might be able to react to the whole thing, depending on how long I take reacting to this. Test the new. And yeah, this is the first video that actually premiered on the channel.
When Duck returned,
so, yeah,
Diesel was trying to take some trucks from a siding. They were old and empty. They had not been touched for a long time. Diesel found them hard to move. He jerked forward and back, trying to move them, but he couldn't.
Next generation. Also, you can actually see the way I connected him to the trucks was with a little thing underneath, because I didn't have a way to connect them with these plastic connecting thingers. The knockoff didn't use magnets, so that's how I had to connect them.
Push.
And that's why you don't really see him pulling anything around corners. And also, I can't be bothered with thumbnails, because I can't, honestly. Meant to be based on Ringo Starr's narration, because George Carlin is like, oh, 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 oh. And then I did Ringo Starr's, which is like, oh. The trucks groaned. We can't wait. I love Duck and the Diesel Engine. That's one of my favorite episodes in the TV series. Sometimes, even when I wasn't really into Thomas and Friends, I would legit just still watch it, because I loved it. It was such a good episode. It's my favorite. Like, Enterprising Engine 93's favorite episode was Donald and Douglas in the US dub, which is what's her name in Brake Van in where we live, where in Australia and the UK. So yeah, my favorite episode was Duck and the Diesel Engine.
We can't. Wish you won't. We can't. Wish you won't.
Based on the aerial shots that you can see.
The first truck began to derail.
Rewrite this part because I liked basic words.
He ended up pulling so hard that the coupling snapped, and he jerked forward violently.
I legit just had to rip that off.
Chuckled Doc. Diesel tried to push the trucks back, but they wouldn't move. Duck came round to have a giggle.
Coupling thing attached to it.
Well, Diesel, you've caused your fair share of trouble today, haven't you? Oh no, I didn't mean these trucks.
So this is like, oh, you can have collect my trucks while I collect Gordon's coaches, and it turns out these are the wrong trucks. Ha!
Oh.
You suck.
Well, I must be going now. Goodbye. Diesel. Oh, no! Diesel had to help the workmen clear the mess.
With the same flashlight from Edward's Day Out, used to sort of add some light to it. Because this was in day in the episode, and it's not really, I don't think it's really said in the book, and the illustrations only show it. I'm not sure. But, yeah, and then this take place at night, because I had to record it at night, and then I just had lights on in my house, so.
He hated it.
Yeah.
All the trucks were laughing and singing at him. Trucks are waiting in the yard, tackling them with easel. Show the world what I can
change
do.
this song,
Gaily
did I?
boasts the diesel. In and out he creeps about like a big black weasel. When he pulls the wrong trucks out, pop goes the diesel. Oh no! Oh! And he scuttled away to sulk in the shed. The next day, Diesel was back
I
in
think
the
I
yard.
lost that
The
footage.
trucks had not forgotten their song.
And this is the whatever episode this was, and I combined it into this. So the way I did it was I had I had Duck and Diesel. Was it called Duck and Diesel? I don't even know. I think it was called Duck and Diesel Engine. I'm not sure. Whatever. The first episode was split into two parts. So I had the first part, which was part of the first episode, then the next part, which was the next part of the first episode, and the first part of the next episode. Did I say that right? I don't know.
Diesel
Whatever.
was back in the yard, but the trucks had not forgotten their song.
And I had to speed up the song,
Show the world what I can do.
which was like sort of inspired by the TV series. And I actually have it. I wanted this to be really like the TV series, so I actually had the duck was horrified line come out at the same time as in the TV series. So yeah.
Alright, it was a joke, now shut
was
up!
horrified.
Diesel still felt insulted. It's all your fault. You made
There's
them
more
laugh.
dialogue.
Nonsense, said Henry. We engines have our differences, but we never talk about it in trucks. That would be disgraceful, said Gordon. Disgusting, said James. Despicable, finished Henry. Diesel now hated Duck. He wanted him to be sent away, so he made a plan. He was going to tell lies about him. The next day, he was in the yard. I loved your joke about me yesterday. Oh, really? Let's sing again then.
I love that line. So it's meant to be it's sort of meant to be a parody in a way, but it's sort of like, because, in this part it was originally, I love your joke about me yesterday. I laughed and laughed. Duck told me, what about Gordon? I'll whisper it. Don't tell Gordon I told you. And I was originally also going to adapt, there was 3 stories about Gordon, Henry, and James, which made them realize that Diesel wasn't a very nice person or something. And they were in like a magazine or something, sort of took place during a close shave. So
That
yeah,
won't
anyways.
be necessary. Aww. Anyways, I loved your joke about me yesterday. I laughed and laughed. Duck told me, what about Gordon? He's a galloping sausage! Don't tell Gordon I told you, and if you do, tell him it was Duck. Oh yes, that does sound like a good plan. Let's call them names and tell him it was Duck and pay him out for bumping us. They laughed rudely as the engines went by.
Doesn't make much sense why they're
When
coming
they
out of
found out, they
the
gathered
yard,
around the
but still.
turntable. Disgraceful, said Gordon.
Meant to be a remake of that shot.
Said James. Despicable, finished Henry. We cannot allow it. Yes, he did it to us, now we'll do it to him and see how he likes it.
And that was that part. And then I also added, I actually still have that. I forgot about that. Passionate. Sorry. This thing on the end screen is it's a recommended video that YouTube does. So this one is, I think, part 1 that I chose, and then I should probably change it to part 3. Oh well, I can't be bothered. Now let's look at the comments. Yeah, very nice comments. Now let's go look at Duck and the Diesel Engine part 3 finale. This is going to be the finale of this reaction series. Let's go, boys. Read description for context and for... Oh yeah, I forgot about this. So I lost the footage exactly for part 3, and this was originally going to be the footage for part 4, and then I'm like, well, dang it, I'll have to write about it. So when Duck came back later that afternoon from the previous, they caused a riot, like the day when Duck came to the railway, but with reversed roles. Yeah, so like it was, so the way I filmed it was like exactly like Duck Takes Charge, where Percy and them were there, but in this it was Henry and them were there, and it was just completely reversed roles. I loved that. I'm not gonna lie. Wait, do I really have the Discord server at this point in time? I uploaded this in last year. Only last year. Alright, I thought I uploaded it before that. Oh well, anyways. Let's keep watching. So Duck, like the day when Dead came to the, and then it's like sad. So, okay. Duck left to go to Edward Station, Wellsworth, and they talked for hours about the other engines. Meanwhile, Diesel smirked with triumph. From like this part, Diesel smirked with triumph. He had the 3 main tender engines on his side and against Duck. The next day, Diesel was shining in the yard when he caused an accident, and this is where the episode begins. So yeah.
The Fat Controller will hear about this one. You'll be in big trouble. Diesel, what are you doing?
So, causing violence, because that's always the answer. So this takes place sort of during a close shave in a way. So, for context, let's just say that a close shave. So this happened over the space of about a few days. So, like, imagine the exact episode of a close shave, similar to that, but instead of Doc going there, Edward being like, okay, I'll help you, help me with this train. And then he immediately goes and helps it. That happens the next day. So he helps with a train the next day. Or maybe the day after or something. I don't know. Like, more time passes between that and the train.
That's a lesson for you.
Just explain that.
Okay.
Saying like, okay, I will get away with this. You trucks are gonna tattletale on me.
I'll just sit here and act innocently. Yeah, that's what act innocently. Oh wait, I heard a loud crash. Was that you, the yard manager? No, it was. It was Gordon, yeah, that's it. Gordon, he smashed the flying kipper vans. They smelled really badly, you see.
Flying kipper, keying it in. This is meant to be also based on. Also, you can actually. Sorry, I should have explained this before. But this is based on The Engines of Sodor by Thomas 1, Edward 2, Henry 3. And I didn't want to get in trouble from him, so I did credit him in a few places. So yeah. And then also this also premiered, and the Golden Freddy show was there during the premiere, I think. I'm not sure if, I don't know, sometimes the chat replay doesn't really work. But the Golden Freddy show was there during it, and he said, you should also, there's a cool app called Sketch. I'm not sure if it's available for iPads, and it's much better during the faces, and I looked it up and I couldn't find it, and he didn't comment on the video, but I just said it there. Just so that you knew. I don't think he knows about that to this day.
Is that right? Fat Controller will hear about this one.
So he blames it on Gordon. So Gordon does this. So this was inspired by a couple episodes from The Engine of Sodor, as I said, by Thomas 1 over 2 Henry 3. And I really liked the story, so I decided to make some minor tweaks to it. Nothing major tweaks. And yeah, I ended up. This is the story.
That day when Gordon came into the station, everybody was looking at him. God.
And also music. I forgot about that. I have music. I forgot about that. Wow, I have music in this. I forgot about that. Yeah, I have music. Music. And much better editing.
Why did you smash the flying kipper vans for Henry? You know how much he likes that train. I don't know what you're talking about. I was pulling the express all day. I don't understand. Silence from you. You caused an accident in the yard. And Henry now has to suffer the cost. You should be ashamed of yourself, Gordon. Sir, I don't know what you're talking about. I was from the Express all day. Silence from you! You are lying to me, and I know it!
Sounds like an entitled parent. It sounds like an entitled parent, just like when the person comes out, like a Karen, when they say, "No, I am the manager. Sorry, you're lying. I know it." Guys, I have a story to post to r/entitled parent, the subreddit. Okay.
No, I'm not, sir. I can tell you that is a fact. Everybody went silent.
So Gordon retaliates.
Sir, in all due respect, now that I think about it, I don't think Gordon would really do that. That would be more characteristic of, me, maybe. The Fat Controller began to see the situation. Wait, yard manager, who told you about the accident? Did you see it? No, it was Diesel. He told me that Gordon had done it. What? You don't think that he would actually do that? No, he's so polite. I don't know. He's a Diesel, we can't really trust him. I'm telling you, sir, Diesel told me.
I decided to not really focus on narration for this, so yeah. I really like this. I'm really proud of Doc and the Diesel Engine. I really liked it.
Yes, I suppose it would. Actually, sir, we have to tell you something. It was actually Diesel. He threatened to bash our buffers in if
And the music just kicks in again.
So we didn't for a while. Sorry, sir. The Fat Controller was mad. Sir, please don't. Oh, you won't be punished. The one engine will be severely. The engines were...
And now... Diesel! What did you do? I really like this story. Credits to Thomas 1 over 2 Henry 3. I'm not sure if there's an easy way to T1 E2 H3. Well done for that story. I really love it. Such a good story. I'm sorry, I just had to steal it from my own. I didn't steal it. I tweaked some parts of it. Dialogue is mostly different. But yeah, anyway.
Sitting in the shed, talking about the situation.
Back to playing. Also, you can literally see. My recommendation for next is a Sodor Garrett, an episode by T1 at E2 H3. So yeah. That just shows you, since I added that. And I think I might have added him in the tags, possibly, as well. Yeah, in a few of the tags. In one of the tags. So it's sort of related to him. Anyways.
I have news.
Some stop motion there.
Diesel is the one who did the accident.
And now the big reveal. Diesel is behind everything. Curse him. And now they're all shocked. And they're like, huh? Oh, and this is also inspired by, that guy. I sort of did this shot directly from Thomas 1 over 2 I will admit that. But I just really liked it. And they just got really mad. And their faces slowly got redder. And then in the actual thing, originally I actually had it that their faces got, like, red all over. But if I did that, it would just look like they were wearing a superhero mask. And I'm like, no, that looks too bad. I'm just going to do this. So they're now really mad. And actually, okay, so let me explain. So the layout, so originally I used a layout for the series. Then I decided to use, what's the name? A set. So this isn't actually linked up with the other set. This is actually like a few meters away in another part of the room. And so, like, just off screen, like, over here where my mouse is probably, is where the end of the track actually is. So it's a bit more realistic to how they actually shot it in the show, which I like. I just realized the drum beat for this. Since I'm learning the drums right now, I just realized the drum beat for it. It's just like a hi-hat and then a sort of, it's not really a snare, it's almost like a bell sound effect. And a bass and a kick, a bass drum.
Diesel was coming back from Vickerstown later that day.
And have all these shots going by like scenery and stuff.
Passed through the station with everyone.
And now everybody's looking at him because it's leaked around the whole island that this guy is evil.
And when he came to the sheds, he decided to turn around and get in. Keep out.
So this is also sort of meant to be a reflection of how it worked with Doc. So they do it twice. So I wanted a lot of stuff to be linked throughout the series. So Percy and Doc block the sheds, and then the engines are like, well, we'll do that for when we block out Doc. And then so they reverse the roles, and then they did it again to Diesel. So it's sort of all linked. That the engines sort of get more screen. It's like it's really I liked it.
What did I do? Oh, we know what you did. You framed Gordon. What? I didn't. I swear. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. I swear. I don't know what you're talking about. I swear I didn't. I don't know what. How? Who told you? The trucks were honest and told me the truth. Diesel. Get off my railway now. Yeah. Oh, this isn't the end of me. You'll see me again in the future. You will. You'll pay for this.
And they never did because the series ended. The end. Roll credits. Bye. Okay, this is back to in this video. The car also appears again. And now everybody's like, well, this guy's going. See ya. Off the railway. Get out of here, sucker. Okay. Also, that's actually meant to be where Knapford Station is. But I wasn't able to get... So this is Tidmouth. And this is meant to be Knapford here. But I was never able to get a platform for it. So he wanders through Wellsworth and everything. He wanders through everywhere. He wanders right the way back down. Like, these are the same sets from before. The narrow gauge railway as well. And then... that actually keys in
Stupid little engines.
to what happens another time. As you can see, Doc actually crashes into the barber shop, and that actually keys in to what would happen later on. That's actually where a close shave took place.
That evening, when all the engines were back at the sheds, the Fat Controller had to tell them something. I have some bad news. Duck has had an accident in Vickerstown, and he'll be away for a few months. We all believed in Diesel, and didn't bother to look at Duck. And now he's gone for a long time. Now I won't see him again.
And I was like, James's jazzy theme sounds good. Based on the book Duck and the Diesel Engine by the Reverend W. Audrey. Episode credits. Original story for this episode is by Thomas 10203. And I think this was a good ending thing. Story altered by Fatful Games. So that was me. Music by Sudrian Afro / FSA Music now because he changed his channel name. And then next episode is a Close Shave, which I don't think I ever actually got to upload. Which I need to upload because I really liked that. I really liked Close Shave. And then back to this title screen at the end. This title screen, the end screen. So yeah, that's the end of this episode. I'll see you guys later. That's a whole half hour. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I'm gonna be editing that. So yeah, see you guys in another time.